500 9 for Foxtrot. Yes, sir, we have Adams on site.
Sky, 9 for Foxtrot, enter left base, runway 18, contact the tower, 118.7, good day.
Alright, enter left base, runway 18 at tower 18.7. Have a good day, 9 for Foxtrot. Adams Tower, good morning, Skog 519 for Foxtrot on a 12-mile left base, runway 18.
19 for Foxtrot, Adams Tower, runway 18, clear to land.
Alright, clear to land, runway 18, 9 for Foxtrot.
Little Rock approach AC 4124 is 15 for 10, Sierra.
Oh, 15
AC 4124, Little Rock approach, expect runway 4 left, descend at pilot's discretion, maintain 6,000.
So guys, this is my experience flying on American Airlines Boeing 757. On Thursday, March 19th, 2020, I had the privilege to fly from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport to Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport on board the Boeing 757-200. Today's plane was November 200 uniform, a 24-year-old Boeing 757. Boarding started at 8:45 a.m. local time, and on this flight I was Group 1 in Seat 2F. A window seat in first class. Upon stepping into the plane, I could definitely tell this bird was showing her age, but it's a 757 and they are still beautiful airplanes no matter how old they are. Once I settled into seat 2F, I was offered a pre-departure beverage from the flight attendant, which I politely turned down. This plane also had no IFE and flight entertainment in the headrest, but instead had the TVs that are wall mounted. This plane did not have electrical outlets to charge your device. I also had plenty of legroom and could stretch my legs out no problem. The flight departed early at 9:02 a.m. local time. Boarding was quick and efficient as today's loads was light with only around 50 people on board. Our departure gate was C Charlie 31. Once boarding was completed, we pushed from the gate and very slowly taxied over to runway 18 left since we were headed west. Once boarding was complete, we pushed from the gate and very slowly taxied over to runway 18 left since we were headed westbound. Shortly thereafter, we thundered into the sky after using about 3,000 feet of the runway. Climb out was steep and bumpy as there had been some convective activity the night before and some of it was still lingering around. We reached our cruise altitude of 36,000 feet, flight level 360, quickly and settled in. Since it was bumpy on the climb, and for the first 30 minutes, the captain made the flight attendants stay in their seats until we got out of it. Once all of that passed, the flight attendant up front started taking drink orders and meal orders. On today's flight, we had two options for breakfast. They were both cold options. If I were to take a guess, that is because they wanted to deep clean all the ovens on the planes before they served hot meals due to COVID-19. The choices on today's flight were a fruit plate with yogurt or a bagel sandwich with a banana. Since I tend to eat a little healthier when I fly, I opted for the fruit plate and yogurt. My drink of choice was good old cup of water. Always remember to stay hydrated. Believe it or not, the fruit plate and the vanilla bean yogurt was good. It didn't take me long to devour it since I was hungry. After service was done, I decided to sit back, relax, fall asleep, and enjoy the rest of the flight on board the 757. After what seemed to be like 20 minutes, it was actually about an hour, we started our descent into the Phoenix area. Not long after that, we landed on runway 7 right, which is on the south side of the Phoenix airport. We exited the runway about 2/3 down, crossed 7 left, and taxied to the gate, which was gate A Alpha 20. All in all, it was a wonderful and relaxing flight. Here are some scores from the flight. In-flight entertainment, 3 out of 10. The food, 7 out of 10. The crew was amazing, 9 out of 10. The plane, it was older, 7 out of 10. Still a wonderful airplane because it's a 757. And the overall score, 7 out of 10. Well guys, I hope you liked hearing about my journey on board the last AA757. So let's continue with the video.
usarse como balsa. Algunos aviones también cuentan con balsas más grandes que los compartimentos. Además, el movimiento su asiento también puede usarse como flotador. Quítelo del asiento y coloque sus brazos entre las correas que hay en la parte inferior. En algunos aviones, el chaleco salvavidas está debajo del asiento o entre los asientos. Póngase el chaleco por la cabeza, coloque la correa en su cintura y ajuste la anilla. Tire de la correa para ajustarla. Nunca infle el chaleco dentro del avión. Una vez fuera, hacia abajo de la lengüeta roja o de ambas lengüetas para inflar el chaleco. Si este no se infla, sople por el botón y se protege la parte superior del chaleco. Gracias por su atención y por elegir a American Airlines.
We have a special guest here. It's Jake. So, Jake, tell us your story of flying on the American 757.
Well, the one, count it, one whole time I got to fly in this airplane. It was a flight back from San Diego into Phoenix. And I'll tell you what, the stories about that airplane are true. You take off in that thing, you're off the ground so fast, and you climb like a rocket. Easily the steepest climb out I've ever done on a plane that was almost fully loaded, for that matter. Coming back into Phoenix, we had some severe thunderstorms and a lot of wind shear. But I'll tell you what, that airplane took it like no other airplane could. It took it like a champ. We were sitting there in the turbulence, and there was one point I could have sworn we lost like 200 feet in about 1 second. It was just that bumpy. Coming into Phoenix, we had to do a go around because the winds were too strong.
arrival, so we had to go missed approach. And they're going to change the runways to the opposite end of the airport right now, and so we'll be about 15 minutes before landing. Thank you.
We diverted and they did a runway swap, so we came in and landed on the opposite side. And even though it was windy and it was crazy outside, it was still probably one of the smoothest landing planes I've ever seen and ever flown on.
So what runway were you guys originally planned for, and then what runway did you actually land on?
We were supposed to land on 7 left, but I think we landed on 25 right, which is the opposite end.
How was the overall experience? You know, the seats, the flight crew, the plane.
Well, my first impression when I walked on board the airplane, I had a whole row to myself right in front of the exit door. So it's in between the exit door and first class, and I was in the very back of the economy plus section behind first class. And I was in the row right in front of the lavatory, so I had everybody going to the bathroom right behind me. But honestly, the weirdest thing that I saw when I got on the plane was the fact that they had the CRT displays still built into the airplane. And I got on, and they were playing trailers for movies.
Wow.
I thought that was a little bit weird, but okay, because I'd never seen that before on a American Airlines flight. But I guess I got kind of lucky because on the flight I had a whole row of seats to myself, and it was just pretty chilled out other than the pretty strong turbulence, but that didn't bother me because I actually enjoy that stuff.
All right, I think we're one of the few people that enjoy turbulence when it happens because, like, we're just so used to it. I mean, you used to fly in Arizona where it was always hot in a small GA plane and it's probably bumpy. And then I fly in Arkansas where you could go out on a 30-degree day and go up to, 2,000 feet and it'll be bumpier than crap. I'm like, it's 30 degrees outside. Why is it bumpy? Like, let's be honest.
Then Mother Nature said, surprise, surprise.
Pretty much.
Oh, we're going to have some fun with you.
Hey, hey, speaking of whole row to yourself, they were practicing social distancing before it even came a thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, then, it didn't quite beat out having a whole first-class row to myself on the Neo, but that's a whole different story.
Well, things happen, so... Anything else you would like to tell us about your 757 experience before we wrap it up and insert this into the video along with your amazing footage you donated to us?
He's gonna slide this right on into the video's DM. From a plane spotter's perspective, seeing it out of Sky Harbor is just one of those airplanes that you'd never, ever get tired of seeing in your life. You could see A320s, A321s, 737s, and you see them all the time out here in Phoenix, and you get kind of tired of it. But I'll tell you what, I could go out there 4 times a month, and just about every time I went out, I would see the same stuff as 757s, and I'd never get tired of seeing them. And hearing those RB211s roaring when they're going off the ground, it's pretty unforgettable. But even more so, getting to stand next to one of those things on the ramp, it's just, yeah.
Dude.
There's absolutely no beating that airplane.
Dude, I wish I've gotten to stand by a 757 on the ramp. I know a couple months ago, we had a 757 in Little Rock. I think it was a medical diversion. Not completely sure what it was, but I think it was medical diversion. I put it on gate 5, and my friend has a picture of him standing next to it. I'm like, dang, I wish I was there.